there to the clients of that facility? Do they use one service, or are there multiple agencies that provide them with services?
To the President, there is a significant amount of collaboration among the three agencies. Part of the concept, and quite honestly, it's a model that the state of New York has complimented us on. Part of the concept is that these offenders have a one central location, so that they're not going from one location downtown or to any of our other parts of our community to provide different services. So mental health services on the top floor, re-entry services upon release from state prison on the third floor, and services directly upon release from our local jail on the first two floors. So there's a great deal of collaboration.
Okay, again, through you, Mr. President, if we were to terminate this lease this evening, end our contractual obligation to this particular building, and encourage these providers to use existing space for something that they have already together, what do you think the likelihood would be that they would be able to co-locate those three facilities and provide those services in an integrated manner? I don't know if you're able to answer that or not, but do you have a guess as to if they have to have that kind of square footage where they'd be able to replicate what they're doing at 80 West Main Street, pre-existing space that they have now?
To the President, I'm not aware of any similar locations. A secure building with a magnetometer screening station at two entrances. It's very important for both visitors and staff safety and for community safety. The number of offenders that are in and out of that building is staggering, hundreds each day. These are individuals who have been referred from the court, from paroling authorities, and it would be difficult to find a building like this in a strategic location next to the probation department, just a few hundred feet from the jail and the Hall of Justice. And I know that some of the programs, including pretrial services, could probably grow because of the number of clients that are there, but there is no option that I'm aware of.
Okay, and through you again, Mr. President, I would imagine just by the nature of the circumstances that these clients find themselves in, that they face a host of challenges. And I would imagine that the location of 80 West Main Street is ideal in terms of accessibility from a bus route or other transportation. Could you comment on that? If these services were broken up into different facilities, talk about some of those issues and what that might do to utilization, and I guess to pick up on Legislator Driscoll's point, the fact that the people not in this program have a 77% recidivism rate, people in the program have 11% recidivism rate. I realize you don't have a crystal ball and can't tell us with certitude what would happen, but or certainty what would happen. But what would be your impression of what would happen to the success of this program?
For the President, almost all of the offenders and clients who visit this building, or any one of the three tenants, come to us with extensive challenges, employment challenges. There's discussion about many people having employment challenges. Well, these clients have little or no skill areas. They need a great deal of support. Sobriety, upon release from jail or prison, it's quite easy, and unfortunately too frequent when offenders go right back on the street and begin to use and abuse substances immediately. They rarely have driver's licenses upon release from facility, and this is directly on the bus line from either the west or the east side of our community. Most of the clients using this building are residents of the city of Rochester. This is centrally located for their purposes, and as I mentioned earlier, closer to programs such as the probation department and the court facility, and of course the jail facility. These individuals have very significant challenges, and being able to come to one building makes it easier both for the community that works with offenders and for the offenders themselves.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Burns. Mr. President, I'll be voting no on this amendment.
Dr. Parker?
I yield to Mr. Bishop.
Thank you, Mr. President, Mr. Buckle. Just on a positive note, one of my observations as I went through that building today was on the cleanliness of it. I was stunned at how neat all 4 floors of this building were. And one of the things I asked the question of why, how it says they maintain it at that level. And the answer I got is that they use the clients. It becomes their home, and some of them are unbelievably good artists. They have painted some of the walls, and I'd be happy to take some of those walls, bring them, and put them in my house. It's an incredible level of talent that some of those folks have. And that entire building, because the staff there works so well with them, they seem to have taken ownership of it. And it'll strike you when you go in there. I have never been in a public building that was that clean, floors, walls, everything, the levels of art in there. So I think it speaks to the quality of the staff that's working in there, and I certainly think that that's a big contributor to the very low recidivism rate for the clients that go through that program.
Yes, Mr. President. Being a member of this honorable body who actually has spent a considerable portion of his career in working on reentry programs and in the criminal justice area, I certainly appreciate the work that's being done over there. Oftentimes folks come out on probation or that's their sentence is probation, and without programming, the recidivism is far too high, not good for the community, and not good for the individuals, and certainly not good for their families. When services are offered, typically that is a very quick reduction to 40% recidivism, and to have a further reduction to 11% is certainly a very positive aspect from the program. Let us not be confused, however, what the debate is about tonight. The debate is about the funding. And this administration, although wants to turn it into a debate about the reentry program itself, we're offering a 6-month period of time, and we're just asking to collect reasonable rents in the building. And this administration asked another program that the county works with, the OASIS program, to leave the Monroe Community Hospital because it wasn't paying sufficient rent. And that program offers a lot of good programming for seniors in this county. So certainly, even though there are programs that offer good services for various constituents in this county, we should support them, but we also need to be fiscally responsible and look into other alternatives if they're not paying a market value rent, as we did with the OASIS program. Now we're asking to do the same with these programs, and we're also affording them a 6-month period of time to do so before the appropriation would be removed in the amendment. Thank you.
Along the lines of summary comments with regards to this amendment, and as far as my explanation of why I will be voting no, is that for the very reasons that were articulated by members of the administration, this is an absolutely responsible thing to do fiscally. Not only does it serve people in this community well with the services they do pre-trial and otherwise, as we've discussed, not only is it responsible for us to centralize these close to an area that these clients are served, but also with regards to accessibility. The suggestion that we need to evict these agencies somehow that are doing a fine job for us, that would just build in the cost of rent that they would have to pay elsewhere, trifurcating our ability to serve these clients, is not responsible, fiscally or otherwise. And that is why I'm voting no on this amendment. It's time to move on.
Thanks.
Mr. President, Ms. Andrews, thank you. I believe probation used to be in this building. Is that correct, Mr. President?
Mr. President, some units of the probation department, in fact, used to be in the building, correct?
Okay, thank you. And I just wanted to say again, we support the programs and believe the services are important for this community. Probation moved from that building. I believe it moved to City Place. Still seems to be functioning.